welcome to No Instructions. I'm Bob.
And I'm Josh.
What's up?
Hey, man.
What's going on? There's a little tiny bed. Where did the bed fall out of? Oh,
The
yeah.
treehouse bed?
So, yeah. Did I show you last time that there's
tree
scissors
with
under the bed?
with the scissors under the bed?
Yeah, I don't know why.
That's random.
Yeah. The treehouse bed has scissors. There's a special compartment for hidden scissors.
And if you were to put, if those scissors were scale to a human being as the minifig, it'd be like having clipping, like hedge clipping shears under your bed.
Yeah. And that hairbrush? You could
Hairbrush
brush
would be gigantic.
the entirety of your hair at one time with that hairbrush.
For back hair.
It's a very large.
For back hair.
It's a very large to scale brush.
Yeah.
Whoa! Look at that focus jumping around. That's pretty cool.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. So we missed last week. I mean,
we didn't.
Technically we didn't, but we did this week. When they're listening to this, we will have missed tomorrow.
We will have missed tomorrow. Are we going to miss tomorrow?
I think so, because I told them not to. We would just put this show out next week.
Okay.
So we didn't. Brandon didn't have to try to edit our lateness.
One of these days we'll get back on track.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's been kind of crazy lately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, what's been going on in the last week?
Oh, I missed pieces. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of that as well.
All right. I got to pay attention real quick. Okay. Good gravy. What's been going on last week?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird because we usually record this late in the week. And so now that it's early in the week, because we're kind of shuffling it up, I have no frame of reference as to what in the world we did.
Yeah, it's not like this week we've done these 4 things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we going to talk about what we're working on? Like what we're doing out there? Because that thing is taking up a lot of time. And it's kind of cool. Maybe not.
I kind of want to keep it a secret. It is pretty cool, and it's turning out to be better than I expected it to be. I don't want to say low hopes. I was really hesitant about starting this project. The last couple I've been really hesitant about because I just don't have a lot of confidence in that I would be able to pull them off.
To your liking?
I'm not really sure.
To like the level of detail you would hope?
I'm not sure what the constraint has been. But anyway, I was really pleasantly surprised on the last one. And this one is pleasantly surprising me as well.
Cool.
It's turned out to be pretty cool. But I think I want to keep it quiet a little bit longer. Because if we...
Okay.
Well, we'll see. By the time this goes out, that'll be...
There's no telling when.
Yeah, I don't know. It's coming soon. And it's pretty cool. But that has been... the thing that we've been working on a lot and actively decided not to put out a video this past week. Man, this is hard.
Up.
We're talking about the future.
It's the now. It's the 28th. So this is our pre-Halloween.
Okay.
We're recording pre-Halloween. It will be November when this comes. Good God, it's going to be November.
Yeah.
Like in a few days.
Yeah. So we're talking about the past as if someone's listening to this in the future, but both of those things are the future from right now.
Whoa. Whoa.
Anyway, this week, we did not put out a video. Just chose to do that because I think I need to do that. We all need to slow down and take a break and not be forced to come up with a thing all the time. So that's what we did. But that gives us time to work on a really cool thing that's coming out in 2 weeks.
You sound like you're very convinced of that that way forward.
Well, yeah. I mean, I had to convince myself of that, because we keep a pretty tight schedule, and to actively step out of that schedule for sanity's sake and for comfort level, I had to be pretty convinced to myself, from myself, for myself to make that happen. So, yeah, I'm just done with the bag, so I'm gonna open another bag.
All right. I started a new set.
Oh yeah, what are you doing?
I have the X-Wing. It doesn't look like an X-Wing right now. And if you think about it, the X-Wing is a lot smaller. Oh, Anthony is waving his hands frantically and telling me to do something I'm not doing. There you go. It's the tiny shell of an X-Wing. And you're still making the varying layers of brown.
I am on bag 8 of 19. I have a feeling this is going to take long enough that I'm going to be tired of it by the time I get done. I'm already a little bit tired of it.
More tired of it than the actual treehouse?
Probably not. Yeah, so you're doing the X-Wing, and this is the most recent X-Wing, because there have been
there's a lot of them.
Many of them.
I don't think this has Porkins in it. It's not that one. I forgot who's in this one. It's the one with Rey and everybody on it, but it's still the New Hope X-Wing. They come out with revisions, and they update like the mechanics little bits so that they can just keep this set popular.
It's got R2 in it, so it must be...
Yeah, it's got R2 and Luke, and then there's somebody else. So
Oh.
I think the couple of X-Wings ago, I think there maybe have been 3.
Oh.
Like one had Porkins in it.
Yeah.
I don't know who's in. This one has Biggs.
Oh.
And the silver R2 unit.
Poor Biggs. R.I.P. We were watching... Oh, I can't spoil that for you. Are you ever going to watch Rebels?
I don't know. I mean, again, if I'm excited about something, people can't spoil it. That just makes me want to watch it more.
Yeah. Anyway, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Rebels and you want to, which you should, this is not a big spoiler, it's just a little detail that I thought was kind of cool. In that show, it takes place before New Hope. This group of, as the Rebels are starting to come together and create a group and
I have
stuff.
watched up to, when I forgot the teenager kid's name? Ezra. He's like, I could be a Jedi. And then he like got his head shaved. I haven't seen the part with his head shaved. So that part forward, I haven't seen. Everything else before that I've seen.
Before his head shaved?
Yeah, and then he like went through training with, what's his name?
Well, but he's kind of always in training. Huh.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Please
Anyway, I'm going way down for nothing.
Let's go.
So there's this episode where they break in. They hear that there are people that want to get out of the Empire. They want to defect, and so they break in, and they act like they're one of the girls acts like she's a recruit for the Empire, and then she goes in, she meets these pilots, and then they, she's like talking about, I don't like the way that they're treating people. I think we should get out of here. And then these guys are like, oh yeah, we should totally defect. Let's defect. And then they leave, and then you find out that it's Wedge.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Hobby. So these two guys, actually there's 3 of them. One of them dies on the way out. It's Wedge and Hobby. So they become part of the Alliance. And so when we're watching that, I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's Wedge. Neat, neat, neat. And then the other night, we're watching A New Hope. Or no, we're watching Empire. And they're in the snowspeeder thing. Mm-hmm. And Luke's talking about, blah, 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 Hobby, pull around me. And I'm like, whoa. I never thought that was a person that he was talking to.
Yeah.
And they totally like threw this person into Rebels. And it was kind of cool. And
See,
we
that's
had
exciting now. That's not a spoiler.
we had just watched that episode in Rebels like 2 weeks ago. And I made a point to the kids, like, listen to who they're going to introduce in this one. There's somebody you may recognize. And some of my kids pay attention to stuff like that and some don't care. But my daughter was like, as soon as they said Wedge, she was like, oh,
Wedge is the
Wedge.
best, man.
Yeah. So
Wedge is one of, I'm gonna say my favorite characters because he doesn't have a whole lot of like story arc, but Wedge in my R2D2 kind of fascination is Wedge is steadfast. Wedge knows what's up. He's in all the battles. He's good at what he does.
yeah,
He never says they're gaining on us or there's one behind me. Like Wedge is consistent.
he's gonna be in the new one.
Go Wedge. I'm gonna be Team Wedge. I wanna make
Team Wedge.
an X-wing helmet. And
That's
Wedge's helmet.
Oh, there you go.
And it's just like the dark panels. I think Wedge's helmet.
Oh,
Just a
really?
dark. Or no, I think so.
You know he's gonna be in Rise of Skywalker.
Yes.
And did you know that the actor that plays him is Ewan McGregor's uncle?
I did not know that.
Now you do.
Wow.
Yeah.
We learn so much together here on the internet.
Thought that was pretty crazy because that means Ewan McGregor grew up with like his uncle being in Star Wars, and he was like, "That is so cool, my uncle's in Star Wars." Until all of a sudden, I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
My uncle's like, he had a bit part.
How you like me now, Uncle Wedge?
Uncle Wedgie. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But
Where has Wedge been all this time?
I don't know.
Super secret mission in uncharted space.
They will probably Wedge Lightyear. That's his name. They never actually. Yeah, Antilles is his last name. They will probably talk about where he's been. I don't know how they're gonna fit everything into this movie that they have. Speaking of Rise of Skywalker, in case you don't know what I'm talking about,
We did say last episode we were going to talk about the trailer.
That's right.
That came out during Saturday morning foosball. So we should talk about just Star Wars stuff.
Saturday morning foosball. Yeah, but I don't know how they're gonna fit everything in that has to be fit into this movie. There's so many things that they have to wrap up, that they have to cover, that they have to explain, and then they're bringing in people like Wedge. And maybe they won't talk about him too much, but they have to at least acknowledge that he's there. And like, that feels like pretty valuable screen time. They're like, oh, look, remember that guy from several movies ago who really isn't important at this point? Look, there he is. Neat. Okay. And then they move on. If that's all it is, maybe he's more important. I don't know. But
well, in the trailer, because we have went scene by scene,
frame by frame,
we have 3 computers in the office, and we had the teaser, we had the D23 footage, and we had the trailer.
Yep.
All up cross-referencing. So we have some pretty decent theories that are probably all wrong.
Probably.
But there is one scene where you see like the backs of all of the Alliance members that presumably like received the broadcast from Last Jedi and like came to the call. And like at the center of the big group, there's Lando and Poe and C3-PO.
And there's a Mon Calamari who was apparently Admiral Akbar's son. Who's been introduced in one of the comics or something.
I think that moment they're going to be sitting around going like, guys, I want to know what to do next. Nobody answered a thing. And then Lando walks in and is like, hey, everybody, how y'all doing? They're like, what? Who are you? We don't know you because this is not in proper context. And maybe that's the guy from the Death Star 2. And we're like, yeah, that's me. And then in walks all the other people.
They all just got there late. Heavy space traffic. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
We just got here.
You guys need to enunciate on your space communication a little better. I thought you said Tweedex. You guys are on Bleedex. My bad.
Those aren't real Star Wars worlds. I'm sure of it. I mean, I'm not sure of it, but probably. Yeah, so we went through the footage pretty closely. And I have to say that J.J. Abrams, love him or hate him, he's really good at making trailers.
Yeah.
Really good at making trailers. And I mean, I like his movies. I don't think I've seen a movie by him that I didn't enjoy personally, but I think you could potentially have a movie by him that was not good and he could still make it look awesome in the trailer, which is kind of cool. And I'm assuming that he cuts those trailers or works with an editor to cut them, but I don't really know. I'm not sure how that works at that scale. You know, when you're talking about somebody who he's the director, but he also wrote it, and you know he's super integrated into the entire process. I assume he's there, like in the editing suite, cutting the trailer together. Maybe not physically at the computer, but he's like telling them what to do, and hiding just the parts that he wants to hide, and exposing just the parts, you know, layering them up to make it look like stuff's happening that's not actually happening. Yeah,
because there's a lot going on in those trailers.
Yeah. It really is.
We went through and tried to figure out like how many worlds or how many different planets that you can see. And there's like a craggy, snowy one. There's tons of places that there's lightning. Apparently this is just like the lightning episode.
I think that's all one place. Pretty sure that's just potential spoilers, by the way, in case you...
Spoiler for a trailer. Forgive us.
Well, but I mean, even for the movie, imagine somehow we were right about one of these assumptions. It would be a spoiler, but I'm pretty sure we're not right about anything. Just a guess. I think that's all like Force lightning. It's a lot of lightning.
A lot of lightning.
But I mean, he's Emperor
really
has had
mad.
30 years to save up his lightning bolts. He's got buckets of lightning, and
they need to do an exercise montage of him getting better at his lightning, and it just like has little sparkle fingers, and then just like.
And he's all this time for 30 years has been buying batteries. He's buying batteries and charging them up with his lightning so that he can unleash them all.
He has like a lamp, and he's like, and then it just kind of flickers, and then it grows so bright that the bulb breaks, and he goes, "It's time."
Do it. Yeah.
I am quite operational.
It's going to be really interesting to see how they bring him back. I almost feel like, and this is wrong, I almost feel like they're going to like tease that he's actually back and that he's really, but it's not really him, or it's not fully him, or it's some sort of weird space-time, you know, like he's controlling stuff from the past or some thing. There's another Rebels connection that I haven't talked to you about there because it is a pretty major spoiler for Rebels. Potentially a major spoiler for Rise of Skywalker.
Well, let's do it.
Okay.
Get ready.
Spoiler
people.
alert.
I'm intrigued now. You've got
In Rebels, part of why I think it's such a good show is the first couple seasons are like these 6 people who get to know each other. There's the mother figure, the father figure,
rebels.
the kid, the whatever, and
Right.
they do their little missions and whatever.
teen sister,
Yeah,
the big broody uncle.
Yep, pretty much. It's the Addams family. And so then, halfway through the show, third season or so, Ahsoka comes in.
Yep.
Ahsoka becomes kind of part of the team, and she brings
Who was in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She brings in this whole other Jedi Force connection stuff, and the show takes a pretty hard turn into that world. And I really like the Jedi stuff. That's the mystical connections of everything.
Yeah.
In Star Wars are one of my favorite parts of it because it's just so far out there and it's just cool. It's just fun. And so the second couple seasons are a lot about like Sith stuff, Jedi stuff, and how it relates and how there's like these battles going on within certain characters, which I don't want to get into all of it. But they find a way. How do I say this? There's like a Force network
Okay.
of travel.
Travel.
So there's sorry if you haven't seen Rebels and you're interested. You should turn it off now. There's this network of connections by the Force from place to time and time to place. And so Ezra and Ahsoka start figuring this out, and they get in here, and I can't remember all the details of how they get into it. We haven't gotten to that, watching that part again. But the Emperor is also aware of this pathway. And so he starts trying to draw in Ezra as an apprentice
To the past?
through the Force internet.
Okay.
Not in the past, in real time, but this network does travel time as well. And so
Time
there's
and
this,
space.
Yeah, kind of.
Got it.
Kind of.
Like a force wormhole.
Kind of.
A force hole.
Yep. So there is a theory that the Emperor died in Return of the Jedi.
Right?
But
As we are led to believe.
right. The theory is that he did actually die, but the Emperor that is in this movie is the Emperor from pre-Return of the Jedi, reaching through this Force network to influence the characters in the future. Maybe either to bring him back or to just have his will executed. Yeah. Now, the bad thing about that was it would be super hard to explain the backstory of that network in that movie with no context. And you can't rely on people watching an animated TV show to understand something like that. So that's why I don't think it's going to happen.
Solo.
There was nothing in Solo that you were required to have watched anything else for.
False.
What?
Really?
To watch Solo, to understand Solo, what would you have had to seen?
You would have to seen Clone Wars or when Darth Maul comes back and Darth Maul's alive and Darth Maul's doing stuff.
Yeah.
So at the very end, it's like, oh, here's Darth Maul and a grainy thing. Or like,
Right.
Darth Maul's dead. And then I heard the like 5
Well-
people in the theater like, gasp. I'm like, those people know what's going on.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you had to watch Clone Wars. I'm like, you know what? Poo-poo this movie.
But that wasn't a pivot point of the entire movie. That was at the very end.
It was the clutch.
Not really. I mean, the whole movie would have happened regardless of who was in that hologram.
Yeah,
right?
woulda. And it did, trust me.
Oh. So, personally, I didn't really enjoy Clone Wars as much as everybody else did. There was some stuff in it that was kind of cool, but you also wade through entire episodes of Senate discussion and like, let's talk about trade agreements and let's
sure
go.
do love trade agreements.
Oh my goodness, that stuff goes on forever. But when it got to the Darth Maul stuff, that was kind of cool. It connects to Mandalore and all that stuff. All of that also weaves into Rebels, which is super cool. And you see a really awesome face-off.
Between...
Spoiler alert, Obi-Wan and Maul.
Again?
Yes.
Cool.
But he straight up kills him this time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's the end of Maul in Rebels, and that's how you know that it's like, he's done. So a big part of Rebels is Maul trying to find Obi-Wan to get his revenge. And he does that by trying to seduce Ezra as his apprentice to help him help him do his evilness.
Okay.
But
So for the Force hole, as we have agreed to call it.
nope, I don't think we agreed on that.
Do you think in the cinematic release of this movie, do you think them like jumping time and potentially space is way too close to Endgame?
That was another discussion, yeah.
And people are just not going to buy that, or they're going to be upset?
So. Yeah, I think so. I don't think that's going to happen. For one, that reason, but also it's just not... I mean, I understand adding new things to the universe and you're expanding it by creating these new, here's how people could move around, or here's a new force power, here's a new whatever. But that seems just like over the top, like MacGuffin.
Yeah.
That seems like too much. And I also think having to explain the backstory of some pre-existing network of force doorways or whatever.
That's a huge bit of acceptance. Like people that the director... I don't think J.J. Abrams would introduce something like that, like, as a fan of a standalone, like, this is the wrapping up of the entire story. You're not wrapping up all of the ancillary stories. The ancillary stories are what's going to continue. Yeah, so, okay, if you're wrapping up Rebels and you're wrapping up all that stuff, like, hooray. I don't know. I think that is a gutsy or dangerous move. Because you're relying on people to have...
I think he's a good enough storyteller that he doesn't have to use that. I think he can complete all this stuff, wrap it all up, and get all the loose ends pulled into one place without having to rely on like they were dead the whole time, or whatever. So I don't think that'll be...
I would be irritated, honestly, if that happened.
Yeah, I don't think...
Because I would feel bamboozled.
I mean, I could see maybe they somehow reference it. Make a mention of it or a little nod to it. It's the same kind of thing. Whereas people who have seen that show and know that little bit may go, oh, cool, it's like a nod to the thing. Mm-hmm. But to just lean fully on...
It was a dream the whole time.
As the Emperor was falling down the pit, he opened a wormhole and fell through it.
Oh, you guys didn't know that he could fly? He could totally fly.
Yeah. I don't think that'll happen. But who knows? It could.
So the trailer.
The trailer, yes. Way back to that.
You see Rey running through the woodsy place with the training droid, and she's fighting off stuff.
Probably doesn't matter, but she has a red scarf wrapped around one hand. Or not around her arm. It's around the center of her hand, and it's hanging off.
Like
apparently,
she got boo-boo?
No. Apparently, there's some sort of an Asian tradition, and I don't know the details of it, that having a red ribbon tied around your wrist means this certain... something. It's like a declaration of some kind. And I didn't look into that to see what it meant. But people are saying that alludes to like something else going on. I don't know. Stuff like that is like, maybe. Or maybe they were just like, It's too green and too white. We need a little pop of color in there. Give her a scarf.
Scarf.
Yeah. So she's running around training, I assume training, because she's the only one there.
Yep.
Unless the Emperor's invisible.
See, but we keep thinking the Emperor because they make the Emperor noise, and then I think it was D23, they played Vader's noise. And at the end of the trailer, you see her, like, staring up at this hooded thing that seems to be, like, walking or, like, kind of moving toward her.
Yeah.
That we assume is the Emperor, because we want it to be the Emperor.
Well, I mean, the whole voiceover of the trailer is the Emperor. Not the whole voiceover, but all of that.
Little cackle and stuff at the end, and then he has some words. And
all of his, like, your coming together will be your undoing, or whatever he said. That's all him. I mean, I think it's him, for sure. I don't think it's a big joke or like a ruse. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think Rey and Kylo separately they're still going to have their weird Force connection, their instant messaging through the Force.
Force buddy.
And they're still going to be talking back and forth. They're going to be physically interacting because they can. They showed that with the rain in the last one. So they're going to be kind of interacting, and then they're both going to realize separately that the Emperor has been controlling something. Kylo says, probably going to say, he's been controlling me through the mask, through Vader's mask or something. And she's like, oh, he's been keeping the resistance down. And they're both separately going to go, we got to go find the Emperor. So they're both going to go follow this little path, and they both end up at the same place where the Emperor is. And that's when he's like, your coming together is going to be your undoing, blah, 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 blah. So then they realize that they have to destroy the mask to release...
The totem that's controlling him?
Yeah, to release Kylo. So then he's good. Then they go on adventure together to kill Palpatine. And they're chasing down him, and his armies are fighting the good armies separately. So you have that like split of, personal action, big action happening at the same time. I think it's something like that.
Okay.
And it'll get down to the two of them fighting the Emperor, just the three fighting. I don't know who's going to die, though. Somebody's got to die.
I think I know who's going to die.
Maybe all of them?
Maybe all of them?
Well, I mean, the two of them.
Rey and Kylo?
Yeah.
Wow.
I could see that.
That's a lot of toys that they're not going to sell anymore.
Okay, who do you think's going to die?
I think they're going to kill R2.
Really?
Yeah.
I think he'd sacrifice himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that.
Because he hasn't had a major role in the movies, the new series of movies. I think as he does, he's the clutch player. He's going to come through in the end, and he's going to save everybody. Or there's going to be a pivotal scene where destruction is imminent, and R2 is going to come and save the day so that they can go forward and continue to do the thing.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I'm going to weep.
Because he can't move along with them at the same pace as like BB-8 can roll anywhere they go. He can go.
Yeah.
R2 can't, and C3-PO can't do that either.
Nope.
And
I think
they're definitely making it look
like spy.
As a spy.
I think he's going to become like a spy
For, like a spy on the
I think
Rebels?
so. For them.
Okay.
So in the trailer, it has that like, I'm gonna look at you guys one last time, my friends. And then in the D23 stuff, he is in the same room with like red eyes, and then when they're all on the cliffside looking out over the destroyed Death Star, kind of has darkish looking eyes. It could be maybe, I don't know. I think they put a different hard drive something in him, because I think that line, I'm looking at you guys as friends and they're not enemies. And so once they change him over to the thing, he's going to be like a bad guy so that he can talk to the Death Star. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to make him a spy. I think he needs to have a valiant moment.
I think he's going to get rewritten for sure. I don't know if... Ooh, I hadn't thought about that. So what if they rewrite him or like reboot him or whatever, put a new processor in him, and it gives him a different voice, which maybe the character lives on but allows somebody else to play him.
That is clever. I like that. Samuel L. Jackson?
Yes.
He's the voice of everything.
John Cena? No doubt it'll be John Cena.
It's that girl from Bob's Burgers.
Oh, man.
She was in the Toy Story movies?
Yeah, here is the question of the day.
No, he sounds like Hulk Hogan.
No.
He just calls everybody brother.
Gilbert Gottfried.
They just don't want him around anymore.
Yeah.
No, I've got these files from the maker. And so he talks like Hayden Christensen.
Oh, gosh.
It's like, hey, you guys.
Hi.
Where are you going?
Man, that would be terrible. Do you think he's going to come back? Do you think they're going to have him in the movie?
I don't want to say yes.
Do you think they will, though?
I think they can.
Yeah.
But he's not as... I don't know if he has aged. Because with the Force Ghosts, they changed it in the re-releases from having the older Vader to having the younger Vader. So at the end of Return of the Jedi, when they're all standing there...
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you see Yoda, and you see Obi-Wan, and then you see stupid Hayden Christensen standing there. I don't know if they were to, like, reboot all of the ghosts. Because with that, like, if they were to bring all the Force Ghosts back and have like an epic Force Ghost reunion.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Yoda. He's a puppet. That's fine. The blue kind of hologrammy thing, you could deep fake Obi-Wan's face onto that and I think be able to hide it.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if Hayden Christensen is still like, I don't know, sprightly looking
I think
enough
he is, yeah.
to look like him again.
I think so.
I think it's a possibility. Because again, in the last movie, they have set the standard that Force Ghosts can touch stuff.
Yeah.
So, if they're all fighting the Emperor, ooh,
that is an idea that's been thrown out.
Anakin's supposed to bring balance to the Force. He hasn't done it yet. He thought he did, but he didn't. So they're getting just whooped up, Force lightninged. Ben and Rey are getting just zapped.
And he throws a Force banana on the floor and makes the Emperor fall.
And then you see like one like foot walk with like the blue aura around it, and you're like, you don't know who it could be. And then out comes another one, and then there comes little like green clicky toes.
Yeah.
And then all of the other ones who are killed because of, was it Order 66 or whatever? And then all of the Jedi ghosts with their powers combined, and Rey and Kylo. Man, I just watched Lord of the Rings, so all I can see is Aragorn leading the green, like, dead people army. I see something like that, but with Rey and Kylo Ren toward the Emperor.
Yeah. There was that idea where a Force Ghost would come back. It wouldn't be everybody from Order 66, though. Nerd alert. Apparently, actually, to be able to become one with the Force and show up as a Force Ghost is a very specialized skill that you have to learn before you die. Although, I don't think Anakin actually learned that. Probably. But he's like, whatever. I'm the chosen one. I can do whatever I want. So I don't think everybody would have that ability, because otherwise maybe we would have seen more of them. But either way,
I'll see Plo Koon come back.
Even if, Kit Fisto and his like green dreadlock head thing. Even if just the few that we know of came back to fight, that'd still be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You know, like the Emperor fighting Anakin and Obi-Wan and Yoda at the same time. And Kylo and...
Okay, so he tells Anakin that you can try to bring people back to life by using the dark side. So then, has the Emperor, in the meantime, besides doing his montage to get his electricity skills boosted up, has he been sending people out to collect, like, the corpses of all of these Sith Lords?
Ooh.
And just bring them back. So as all the blue hologram feet enter the scene, and you're like, oh boy, who is it going to be? And they stand there all triumphant, and you're like, oh, you're done, Emperor. And then he starts to cackle. And then there's General Grievous's foot.
He's not a Jedi. But, yeah, I know what you're saying. Or not a Sith. So, do they have red holograms?
Ooh.
Blue holograms versus... No, they're not holograms, but Force Ghosts.
Yeah.
Red
and it's
Force
all
Ghosts?
just red, and it has like little wisps of fire.
Ooh.
Dude, that would be cool. And then they all get to fight each other. And then Obi-Wan looks at Darth Maul and was like, for real? Like, come on.
Again?
God.
How many times do I have to kill you?
He's like, you know what? I'm going to get you this time. I've been watching the tapes. I know your moves. I'm going to just stay on the high ground, and you're done for.
On the high ground.
I think that would be cool.
That would be pretty cool.
I don't think it's practical, but I think it's cool.
Yeah. Huh. That actually would give them, if they did that, they could bring in Sith characters that have yet to be introduced into the canon, who are part of the extended universe. There's like all these Darth Bane and Darth Revan, which I don't know anything about these characters, but they're
Ventress.
Yeah, well, yeah. But there have been a bunch that have not been introduced, you know, once they kind of reset what canon was, and just seeing a glimpse of those characters would send a whole lot of fans into like a frenzy.
Yep. Darth Plagueis shows up, and it's just like super huge, like Goliath.
That would be cool. Okay, so at the end, other than R2, who dies? You know, at least one major character has to die.
That's unfortunate. I don't know why we set these standards.
I mean, I feel like Rey's probably gonna die. Like she's got to sacrifice
Well,
herself.
how do they explain Princess Leia? She's still alive from her space floaty thing.
Also, we know she has a part where she interacts with Rey. Mm-hmm. She's probably
she was
like
hugged at least.
in the
And she's like, I'm sure glad I got to say goodbye to General Organa before she left on her
vacation
to the Undying Lands.
That's probably what it is.
Yep.
The whole time they're like, I don't know, we're in battle again and we can't get a hold of her. And she's on the beach somewhere in some planet. She's like, oh, I just realized my communicator battery died. Meh.
Or she's back on Endor, just like doing the yup dance, and she like has her phone all up trying to like hunt for signal.
There's no signal out here.
Like, well,
they'll be all right. They've got Lando now. Yeah, I don't know about that. Oh, look, there's a ship in the bottle in this set.
Ooh,
That's funny.
that's cool.
So,
And it's a Lego idea set. That's a
Yeah.
Man, they're intermixing Lego sets now.
there's a little tiny bottle with a ship in it. That's part of the set.
Who do you think is gonna die?
I think Rey.
Really?
Yeah, I think so because I think the actress doesn't. What's her name? Daisy Ridley.
Daisy
doesn't
Ridley.
want to do it anymore. Is kind of the feeling I get. Like she's not super into it. I could be wrong about that, but she doesn't seem motivated like everybody else seems to absolutely love it. I think Poe is, even though he's kind of replacing Han Solo, he's the team leader kind of guy. I don't think he's really that like. He doesn't seem important enough to kill off.
Oh, like it wouldn't be that impactful?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's got to be Kylo or Rey or maybe both.
What about Finn?
I mean, maybe. I don't care about Finn.
See, this is where you and I had a conversation about
just-
in the trailer. There's like a bunch of people riding on space horses,
Yeah.
and we don't know who the people are. They're
Top of a ship.
they're running on top of a Star Destroyer as other Star Destroyers are lifting off beside them.
Yeah.
And so you would come to believe that they are this like super special ops on horseback unit, and
Or they got lost.
and
One or
just
the
found
other.
some horses.
They're just like, how did we get on top of this ship? Is it like a tour company that's really bad at their job?
On your left, you'll see the wonderful waterfall. On your right, oh my God,
There's
where are we?
lightning everywhere.
Where are we right now? We do not have proper credentials to be here.
Anyway, you were going to say.
I would like to think, which is the nerdy way of going, they should do what I say for this movie, and if not, I'm going to be very upset. But I would like to think, as I said before, that I felt like Finn's character like has more, and they're underutilizing his character. I would hope that there are more stormtroopers than him to like have some agency and go like, I don't want to do this anymore for whatever reasons. So I would like to think that those ragtag band of whoever's he found somewhere that they are like defected stormtroopers, and they were like, yo, we all together, sanitization guy, supply clerk, weapon special, whoever,
Storm
like,
plumber.
yeah, we know where they're like. Oh, we found out where they're building up all of the Star Destroyers on planet Bingo Bob, and they're like, together we can go and try to sabotage these things because like we know what's up. And so that's why that's like the group battle kind of thing, like you were talking about. That's what I would hope, is because those are the rebels. Like, because in the last movie, all hope is lost. You have the feeling that no one else is out there gonna help them, and I think that having a pool, the existing pool of rebels from all of the movies, is not enough. Like, you have to have enough people to want to overthrow the First Order or the Empire or the whatever. Like, there has to be a movement, and not just a kid who is sweeping the floor in the other space horsey stall. Like, people that legitimately have skin in the game. And I think the stormtroopers, like, there could be an uprising from within, and those are also the rebels. And besides, like, the X-Wing pilots from battles of old, like, there's a group of people that want to help out now.
Yeah.
And so that's what I hope happens with the Lost tour group and their misguided horseback riding tour.
I could totally see that happening. Finn, specifically, to me, they have a lot of work to do to make him worthwhile in this movie. Because so far, all he's done is try to run away from wherever he is. And I don't think he's He has not,
Interesting.
other than accidentally connecting people, he has served no purpose. He's not come up with a great plan. He's not executed a great thing. He ran away from the First Order.
Yep.
He did poorly in everything to do with Rey. He tried to go to the casino world and got distracted.
Oh, even before then, he tried to. No, even before that, he tried to run away, and Rose caught him.
Yep. And then they tried to go to the casino world, did nothing. That entire section of the movie could have been cut out, and everything would have been shorter and better.
Because they went.
They went to rescue Rey at Starkiller. She didn't need their rescue. She was just fine. I mean, it was important that they ended up there, but like he hasn't done anything productive.
Because what's her name crashed the spaceship into the huge ship.
Yep.
So it's not like they. I mean, I don't know if they lowered the tractor beam or whatever. No, because they went there to turn off the thing that tracked people through hyperspace.
He went to get Rey. That he lied about all that other stuff so that he could get there to get Rey.
Okay.
I mean, so Han and Chewie did their part.
Oh, I'm talking about in Last Jedi.
Oh, okay.
Not on Starkiller Base, on the gigantic ship that General Hux she blasted through. So they went to the casino planet to go get the coder or whatever, so that they could get through the force field thing on the big ship, so that they could turn off the thing that tracked the rebels through light speed.
Yes.
And they did all of that against in direct violation of an order. That was their cockamamie scheme that Poe kind of came up with too.
Right.
So all of that was completely unnecessary because she just smashed it up anyway.
Yeah.
Wow. I've never actually gone back through shot by shot of how kind of empty his efforts have been.
Now, I'm not saying I don't like John Boyega. I'm not saying I don't think they could do something with him. But so far, I'm not invested in his character at all because he has not served a purpose. Other than just kind of accidentally connecting people and getting people on the right place and whatever. But so to me, if he were one of the people to be killed off, I'd be like, well, he didn't do anything anyway.
You're not invested enough to be sad?
No. Not really.
Because Rose, it was the same with Rose. Like when she was going to die or whatever, when she prevented him from having his hero's moment, I thought that was kind of a misstep. Like that would have been his chance to go like, I'm going to take one for the team because I haven't done all these things. Like it's my turn to do some good. And she stopped him. And then it was like, oh, is she dead? And not that she's a female character or any of these other reasons. Like I wasn't invested enough in her random character to be affected.
Right. She hadn't done anything. Now, her sister, if they had let her survive...
The hero of the bomber?
She was the hero of that whole thing. Mm-hmm. Rose kind of was... It didn't have a chance to be a hero, but she didn't do anything either. So, I don't know. Like, those characters don't... None of those really matter to me. Like, if they were lost, I don't feel like the impact would be there. Rey and Kylo, maybe Poe. R2, C3-PO. I mean, those... If you lose one of those, like, that's a hit. Right, that's an emotional. You have investment in those people.
Yep.
Leia, same kind of deal. When everybody thought Leia died in Last Jedi, everybody's like,
"That was hitting me," and then she woke back up. I'm like, "What are you doing? You had an out."
Yeah, I'm really surprised that they did that.
I don't know why, but I mean, again, this is not my movie. This is someone else's movie. But I thought that was fitting. Granted, it was abrupt. It was very kind of early on. Ben didn't do it. Someone else did it. I was like, ha, I got it.
Yeah.
So it seemed kind of weak in its execution.
Right.
But was very impactful in the moment because, she had just passed away in real life. Everybody was wondering what was going to happen. She was standing firm and steadfast and then went out like a space general would go out.
Yeah. And then flew back in. Like a space.
Yeah, because Admiral Akbar was up there too. Admiral Akbar didn't get his moment. He just got slurped away into space.
He's toast.
But she's one with the Force, and I get that. But again, people who are deep in the Force have died by much sissier deaths.
Well, so she wasn't dead yet.
You get sucked into space.
I'm just saying.
You're hella dead.
I know. I'm just saying. Like there are seconds in Spaceland. I'm not really, but she has a second to
Yondu rules.
She has a few minutes seconds for her body to her
blood
brain to be
boil
like, oh
within
wait,
her
I should
veins.
use the Force to stop my blood from boiling
Yeah.
first, and then move myself back to the
Yep.
ship. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was a good move, but I wonder if they were expecting. Obviously, they know she was going to die before that movie came out. But I wonder if they were expecting her to have a much larger role in this movie, and to really give her a good wrap up here, and so they kind of wanted to tease it in Last Jedi, but not actually like do it, and then let her have a big kind of farewell.
Well, they've pretty much pegged her as immortal now. Because what could happen to her?
Well, not really. I mean, it might, she
Is
gets
she weakened now? Because she's like
she gets a laser
walked with
blast to the
cane
face, or like, a lightsaber to the gut. I mean, she can't unforce that. Force undo that. Force undo.
I'm just saying, if
don't
I
know.
was the space coroner and I had two corpses, and I'm like, oh, this guy took a laser beam to the large intestine, like that's unfortunate, and he got sepsis because he leaked all his intestinal guts, fluids into his belly cavity. Like, that's kind of localized, and it's going to take a little while for you to die. It's not going to be like, yeah, and then you fall down unconscious. Like, that's not how that's going to happen.
Well,
like,
it's cauterized, right?
her, and even, there you go, even better, you could potentially, because of that lip. Like, oh, and this poor lady here, she's a bit frail. She's kind of old. She's kind of out of shape. Got slurped into the vacuum and freezing cold death of space. You're like, oh, she's fine. And so now, she like falls into the Sarlacc pit.
Somehow they end back.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
for that.
does she have to like just disintegrate like Luke did?
I mean, maybe she won't die. Maybe they'll just let her like.
Oh, she's at like the very end, and she puts the medal on.
Ooh. Ooh. That would be rough. I would shed a tear for that.
Oh, and that's where the hug is at the end.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm totally gonna cry in this movie. I can say it right now, man. I'm gonna cry through a lot of it.
I'm missing a piece. I know I hate saying that.
Okay. Well, so who do you think's gonna die?
I
Pick
think-
one, other than R2-D2, like a
Oh,
human.
that was gonna
One.
be-
Well, no, but one human character.
That guy with the beard, who was J.J. Abrams' buddy.
Oh.
That guy, the A-wing pilot in the Lego
yeah.
set.
I don't know what his character's name is.
We talked about it. I don't
Greg
remember.
Grunberg is his name, but I don't know what.
Yeah, he was in The Force Awakens. He was in.
He and
Lost,
JJ are best
I guess.
friends, and he's in everything JJ does.
That guy. I think that guy's gonna die.
Yeah, but like, who cares about that?
I don't know. You asked me who's gonna die. I don't know.
You don't
Out
think
of
any
the
of the
major characters? I don't think so.
Really?
I don't think so.
I think as a way to like put a nail in it to end the thing, we have to lose somebody major. In the process of like to wrap it up, to solve the evil, to end the bad, there has to be a sacrifice or there has to be a thing given for that.
Okay.
I think so. I think that
They
has to be a major
collectively-
character.
Rey and Kylo both stab the Emperor from either side in a very climactic way,
Okay.
and then they chop him up, and then
Spread
all
it.
his potential energy just kapow explodes, and then they're just like vaporized.
Oh. I can see that.
There you go. So they don't have to be in any other movies because their physical form is completely gone. Even though she was one with the Force, apparently you can survive lots of stuff with the Force. I would say not if you're vaporized. If you still have a physical body, if you still have all of
Yeah,
your limbs,
Fair enough.
and you haven't been mildly punctured by a cauterizing laser sword, then you're donezo. Or the Sarlacc pit. There's always that.
Okay, moving on to The Mandalorian. Are you excited about The Mandalorian?
I am. It looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm still like I would sign up for Disney Plus if they had the Hulu package option available anywhere. I would just go ahead and do it.
I'm sure they will.
I don't know where it is. Hey, hurry up, man! It's almost November.
It is like 2 weeks away for that show to start. I'm pretty excited about the show. I totally understand whether they're going to leak them out 1 week at a time, but I'm also like, man, But I guess that'll give me time to watch each episode a couple of times before.
Well, I think
because I'll watch one with the kids.
I think you were talking about it on making it, how you don't process and you don't start to like come up with these kind of theories whenever it's bingeable.
Yeah.
If it is so fast, you don't have time to sink in. You don't have time to go like, "Ooh, I think this," or you can't be surprised when you are immediately satiated after another show.
Yep.
So I kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
That they're going to slow leak it. I think that a lot of people are going to that model now, and we all have to retrain our brains. Because like we talked about on this show about the British baking show, I forget that show is slow leaked, and I just don't watch it because I forget about it. And like, oh yeah, that thing is back on. But 2 episodes have already passed, so it may be the importance of a show that makes me reprogram my brain to that I need to tune in every week. Rather than just like, okay, well, I can't watch anything right now. Let's watch The Office 57 times.
Right.
And then forget that it was coming on.
So we'll either get retrained or people will start to defer shows until they're available. I just won't watch any of it, which I don't think will happen often because the stuff's going to get spoiled. But you could say, I'm not going to watch for 9 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever it is until...
Save them all up?
Yeah, until they're all there and then watch them in a weekend. That sounds terrible to me.
I was about to say, people, you can take that option. We're going to spoil it.
Yep. I mean, I don't have time to binge watch shows. I'm lucky if I get to watch 2 30-minute shows in a single night. Yeah, we just don't dedicate that much time to sitting down. I'm tired, and Jenny falls asleep, and it's just like we don't
Tiff
get that
has
far.
stuff to do in the evenings. Like she has her online classes that she teaches in the morning. So like she'll go downstairs and like get her class all prepped. And so I'm like, well, I'm gonna watch The West Wing, or I'm gonna watch some show that I know she doesn't really care about. And then I'll fall asleep on the couch.
I don't have any of those because Jenny is too nice and is like, we'll watch anything I'm interested in. So then I feel bad
Well, it's
about
not that my wife doesn't want to watch it, but she's not upset that like I would skip ahead.
Oh, yeah, I guess she wouldn't be upset either. But.
And that's how I have to do it. If there's a new show that I want to watch, I'll just start watching it and tell her about it. And so that she's not like, oh.
Like, I was just trying this one out for you.
Yeah.
See if you liked it.
Like,
See if I thought you would like it. And I just happened to watch like the first 2 seasons.
Exactly. I'm 2 seasons in, and then she'll finally sit down with me. I'm going to go, what is this? I go, and I'll pause it, and I'll do the like here's my 10-second synopsis of 2 seasons of a show. And she'll go, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about The Mandalorian. And they've started leaking out stuff. They already are in pre-production for season 2.
That's
Did you know
smart.
that? And they're starting to shoot it like, I think, the beginning of the year or something. It's kind of crazy.
It's the power of a trailer, man.
Because they're not even starting to shoot the Obi-Wan series until next summer.
There was, 6 episodes of that?
Yeah. And I think Mandalorian is 8 or 10. 10, I think. I don't know. So something fun that I told you about, but everybody listening may, if you stuck around this long into Star Wars talk, this may be exciting to you, as it is to me. We're going to Disney, like we talked about before. I had to get our fast passes, which apparently you can get fast passes for rides 60 days before you actually go to the ride. And I was
Is there a limit to how many you can get?
Yeah, you get 3 a day per ticket, I guess. And at first I was like, well, that seems silly. Like, nobody does that. But then I thought about the people that go to Disney and realized that they probably do.
Yeah.
So on day 59, I got on there finally to get the fast passes and had a hard time getting them because most of them were already taken. So
Wow.
we had to be real choosy about our times and stuff. But I got our kind of picked the days we're going to which park and picked out some of the major rides that I knew we wanted to make sure to get. And we're going to be down there when The Rise of Skywalker comes out. I'm kind of giving that away in case anybody's in there. Don't track me down and talk to me about Star Wars in the parks. Or do. I don't really care. But we're going to be down there. So we got our Galaxy's Edge stuff lined up for one of the days. And then on the 20th, when the movie comes out, I was like, well, we won't have done the rest of Hollywood Studios, so I'll go ahead and get Star Tours that morning and Indiana Jones and whatever some of the other thing. And then they announced a couple days after that they're redoing Star Tours to have stuff for The Rise of Skywalker. And
Yeah, like it had the little car thing that you're in. is going out over the water with
Yeah.
the Death Star.
So they're adding stuff to the thing from the new movie that day.
That day.
And we have the 9:25 Fast Pass.
That's awesome.
So we're going to be some of the first people to see that. That's pretty cool. And my kids still don't know where we're going.
They don't know you're going to Disney World
Nope.
at all?
Nope.
Oh, that's perfect. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So my son's birthday is while we're down there. They know that the movie's coming out on his birthday. But
On his birthday?
Yeah.
Dang.
But they don't know anything else. And so they think we're just going to be going to the movie here. And so I can't wait to surprise them with all that. It's going to be cool.
Well, I need to tell my kid to not say anything.
Oh, do they know about it?
I think I might have said something to him.
Oh, boy. Tell them we don't. Well, don't tell them anything. That would be bad. I mean, ultimately, it doesn't really matter if it's a surprise or not, but it would be cool if it was.
Yeah.
What is happening here? There's weird little
Check it out. This X-Wing has revolvers.
hangover stuff.
It has revolvers in the back. Has like little... Here you go.
Little-
Here you go. Camera 2. Bang.
Neat.
It's got has like special tubing and stuff in the back. It's got revolvers.
Oh, well, this tree set has a lot of brown. So much brown. Ugh. It's like that's part of why the set is kind of beginning to get in my nerves a little bit because it is brown. And it's really hard to figure out which pieces need to go on where because they're all brown. Have I mentioned that they're brown? Mm-hmm. Cool.
You want to do a pro or con real quick?
Yeah, a couple. We're like 57 in, so
Let's do
it. Just a couple.
Rapid fire.
Where are they? Chocolate gravy for biscuits.
Con. That sounds disgusting.
That's a thing? Isn't that fondue?
It's delicious.
Anthony says it's delicious. There is but one type of gravy that goes on biscuits.
Gray gravy.
Doing this again.
We were at a church the other day and they were having a meal and they had chicken fried steak, which is
Okay.
okay.
Objection.
Hang
They're
on,
calling it chicken
hang on.
fried steak.
Well, maybe they didn't call it that. What's it supposed to be called?
Country fried steak.
Okay, maybe they called it that. I don't
But people call it chicken fried steak, so you're not exiling people.
know.
by
Okay,
saying
well,
that.
anyway, that thing,
Yep.
that like breaded meat thing,
Breaded pounded meat.
and they put gravy on it, and it looked so disgusting.
White gravy or brown gravy?
Gray gravy. It's all gray gravy. Brown gravy's not. But anyway, I didn't get that. All right, so I guess, I don't know. That sounds like it's worth a shot. It sounds like fondue to me.
That sounds like just dessert.
Yeah.
Why would you call that gravy? That's just chocolate.
Why are waterbeds and board games one thing? Okay, so the pro and con is waterbeds, board games.
Ooh. Wouldn't you play a board game on a waterbed?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a waterbed?
No.
My parents had one, and I always thought it was a great idea until you sleep on one, and it's the most uncomfortable thing.
Yeah. One of my old roommates had one. He grew up having one, and then when we were in college, I don't know how he got a waterbed in college, but somehow he got this waterbed, and it was the weirdest thing to like. Oh, gotta go fill up the bed.
Yeah. I bet there's people listening to this that may not know what waterbeds are.
My in-laws still have one.
It's like sleeping on a water balloon.
Yeah, it's a gigantic. My parents had tubes. It was like a bunch of tubes side by side, or just one gigantic bladder filled with water, and you sleep on it.
I thought they were all like one gigantic.
Yeah, theirs had
bladder.
tubes, and it was inset into like a wooden frame.
Yeah.
And if you were to sleep near the edge, like I tend to, you could like fall in between the water tubes and the hard wooden frame. It was terrible.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. Water beds are a big
Yeah.
Board games are a big
I like board games.
thumbs up. Pro. Board games are good. I told you about this game, but we played Throw Burrito.
I saw that at the store. and
It
thought about
is
you guys.
fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
It's a good time. And all of our kids can play it because it's like matching and then just it's simple. But it's fun enough that it's fast and you're passing cards and then all of a sudden somebody says a certain word and you throw burritos at each other. It's like dodgeball. It's fun. Worth it. Ninja Warrior.
I think we've talked highly about Ninja Warrior.
I think so.
Maybe
yeah.
have we? I mean, that's about like Wipeout and stuff.
Yeah,
I
Ninja
think
Warrior is pretty
Ninja
awesome.
Warrior is pretty cool.
I would love to try it. I don't think I would do very well, but it would be fun to try it and not do well. I guess in private.
I wonder if we can go up the road and see if they have some obstacle courses.
Oh,
Because the military obstacle courses are actually kind of fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could do those as a normal civilian.
They're just out in the woods.
Let's see. Gyros versus what is that?
Donor?
Donor? What is that?
A donor is like a wrap with meat. It's kind of like a gyro, but I'm sure people are going to correct us, but to the layperson, they may be interchangeable. One has like the tzatziki sauce, and the other has French fries and like other kind of sauces on them.
Oh,
We could get donor in Belgium all the time, and it's like a Turkish kind of rather than Greek. Yeah.
okay, but similar in
Yeah.
structure.
Yep. And tastiness.
And then shawarma. So those three together. I know you like those. Those are not foods that I enjoy, and I'm not a picky person typically when it comes to food. I think I don't like some of the seasoning that goes in those. And lamb meat is okay, but it's not my favorite meat.
Yeah.
But so we have a Mediterranean place here in town, and you guys always get shawarma and gyros and this and
You
that.
get the
And I
hamburger.
get the classic cheeseburger. It's
My-
actually a pretty good burger.
My favorite Bob Claggett line thus far is that my wife and I were out to dinner, and then just so happened you and your wife came to the same place, and we started having dinner together.
Oh yeah.
And your wife is very like, oh, you should try my thing. Like, no, here, try mine, and try mine. And it's very like family meal kind of thing. And I remember she was just like, Bob, here, you should try this thing. And you're like, no, I'm good. And you're like, oh, what's that? Can I try some? He was like, no, I'm fine. Like, you weren't getting like annoyed, but you were steadfast. And at one point in the meal, you went, look, I got the food that I want in the quantity that I require. And it just shut everybody up. Well,
like-
okay then.
I'm an adult and I can order from a menu, and so I get the food that I want, and then I eat it, and I don't need anybody to order stuff for me.
Yeah,
or-
like, well, you should have some of this appetizer that we got for the table. You're like, no, I got exactly what I want in the portion size that I wanted. Leave me be.
yeah, and you can't have any of it. That's another
Yeah.
thing. Like, she's like, "Come on, let's trade," and I'm like, "No, like if you wanted this, you should have ordered this. I ordered this.
That was my favorite.
I have a bunch of extra pieces again.
Oh,
Dang it!
that's no. You got two of the same ones.
That's yeah,
no good.
that's a lot of extra pieces. I have 4 of those. I have 2 of those, and then these are kind of unique. So I'm definitely missed stuff. It's all brown. That's the problem. All right, where can people find you?
On Instagram and everywhere else at Josh_makes_stuff.
Find me and us at I Like to Make Stuff on all the stuff. Wanted to shout out our Maker Alliance stuff because we didn't do that. Oh, I know what these pieces are. Cool. We didn't do that last time. Maker Alliance is
Just like magically figure out what they come from.
multitasking.
Okay. Wow, that was impressive.
Maker Alliance is a group of people, community that is around the stuff that we do, right? And they get extra access. They get on the Discord. They get to see videos early. They get special videos that are what's the word?
Exclusive.
Exclusive. That's the word. Anthony put one up today. That's a
did.
Q&A from Discord. So they also get to ask questions for us to make videos about, stuff like that. If you want to help out, if you want to join the Maker Alliance, there's all sorts of other perks, and they're all listed at iliketomakestuff.com/join. Go there and check them out. Also, if you know somebody that would like to hear us talk about Star Wars or not Star Wars while we play with Legos, we really sound like kids. If you would think somebody that would like the show, share it, please. That'd be cool.
I'm going through dad stuff right now for those who really enjoy our dad conversations. This one is kind of deep, and I'm not ready to talk about it yet. It's nothing bad. Nobody's dying, but it's like a shake-up kind of thing. And so we're in the midst of it. So if you came here for dad stuff and you don't care so much about Star Wars, I'm sure there will be more pretty quickly
Yeah.
crazy dad conversation.
Yeah. And we didn't talk about soccer for me. Let's talk about that next time.
Okay.
Soccer's over, and I have an unexpected feeling about that.
Oh,
Yeah, dad stuff in the future. Thanks for listening,
Yeah.
everybody. We'll see you next time.
bye-bye.
Bye.